And now we go to the Shrutis, personified Vedas. These are a group of rishis that live in the Mahavaikuntha, in the material world where this Vishnu is lying. Which Vishnu? I guess it's Kshirodakshay Vishnu is lying on the ocean of Kir, condensed milk, on Ananta Shesh, and he's supervising the universe in a global, let's say, galactic way from Mahavaikuntha. Then he's supervising locally because he has sensors. Everyone has a sensor, a microchip placed inside. Every living entity has a microchip inside. So that the big daddy can keep track of the movements of everybody. And who is that microchip? It's called Paramatma, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So the big guy's there, and he just has a big computer screen. And he sits there in Mahavaikuntha. Ocha, what is Das doing? What is Dasi doing? And he connects with the sensors. It's kind of modern type explanation. So these Shrutis, they're the wake-up alarm, the snooze alarm. We have a snooze alarm. So when Vishnu is enjoying his rest on the ocean there, his waterbed or whatever you want to call it, it's time to wake up. And all the sages, they're human type of sages, human form, they line up on the beach. Like sometimes the hippies, they go down the beach and play at sunset and stuff, and sunrise. If you live in a coastal region, it's a very common thing. Unless the police chase you off the beach. Whatever. So they go to the shore of the Milk Ocean, and there's all this clouds there. And that cloud is called Naham Prakashya Sarvasya. And Gita, 7th chapter, 25, he said, I am covered by my Yogamaya. So there are these clouds are the Yogamaya energy. So because he's having Yoga Nidra, Mahavishnu, or him also, but Kshirodakshay Vishnu in our universe, he's enjoying Yoga Nidra, which doesn't, in the Jiva Goswami's Tika and Brahma Samhita, Yoga Nidra doesn't mean Nidra as we think of sleep, but he and Lakshmi Devi, Rama Devi and Vishnu are enjoying intimate union for millions and millions of eons of time, and that's called Yoga Nidra. It's in Brahma Samhita. So naturally, they don't want a bunch of sages busting into their bedroom. It's not too much appreciated. Swaha, hey, come on, man. Later. So they stand on the beach, and it's all clouds, so they can't see because of the covering of the Yogamaya. But they know Vishnu's there. Then they sing all these. You've heard of the prayer Purusha Shukta? Maybe you've heard, or maybe you sang. I don't know. Purusha Shukta. This is the wake-up song. The wake-up call, ringtone on Vishnu's phone. He wakes up with that. So somehow Narada Muni, different rishis came there to see Narayan, Narada Muni. And he was telling about Radharani and Brajadam. Because he has Narada Pancharatra, and he has Narada Purana, many books he has, and teachings Narada Muni has, and he's many things about the gopis. Once he went to visit Shiva, and Shiva told him a prayer that Shiva spoke in Urdvamnaya Tantra. And then Narada heard it, and then when he went there, he also told that. Munindra Vinda Vandate Chiloka Shoka Harane Prasana Vakcha Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Brajendra Bharanandane Brajendra Suna Sangate Kada Karishya Siyamam Kripa Kataksha Vajanam. So Narada Muni heard that, and when he came to Narayan, then he was speaking. So the sages heard about Radharani and Krishna and Braja Gopis, these Shrutis, and they became very attracted. And they asked Narada Muni, how we become Gopi? Oh, you have to follow Raganuga Bhakti. You have to do Ragmarg. Only by Ragmarg can you become a Gopi. So thousands and millions of years they practiced, they followed Ragmarg. And they were born as Gopis in Vrindavan. That's in the Dasama Skanda. So they're also rishis, but they're categorically different because they're all in the same svabhav. I mean, they're all the Shrutis. They all became gopis in Parakiya Bhav Madhurya Ras. But the Dandakaranya sages, they were less fortunate in one sense. They're pretty fortunate. Darshan of Ramchandra, in the Lila of Ramchandra. So some of them, many of them, it's not said percentage-wise, they were married and had that relationship, Swakiya, Bhav, with Lord Ramachandra, and many were not. So this is kind of a tangential point, somehow it just came out. If you knew it, then you heard it again. If you didn't know it, you heard it the first time. So that's not exactly connected specifically to the question. But what I'm trying to say is the answer, somehow that got interrupted my answer, because my answer was cognitive and that was spontaneous. So I'll go back to the cognitive answer, which I'm thinking that's my answer. I'm the doer. But I was logically going to answer the question like this. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesh arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra hridaya maya. As we mentioned about our Shiradakshaya Vishnu, he's in the heart of the jiva, and Krishna knows past, present, and future. Past means all about the past. Your paramarthik activities, spiritual activities, and artha, your material activities. So he's the ultimate processor. There's the computers. There's different levels of processors, and there's like the final memory. You erase it from the surface memory, but it's in the second memory. And you kind of guys, anybody thinks they have everything erased, and he comes in and says, "Oh yeah, look at all this hot stuff here. You didn't get off. all the real stuff is I didn't know. You get caught with your pants down because the computer expert can go in there and find all this stuff. You buried all these skeletons in your backyard. All your karmic excursions." And then he can bring them up and say, "Oh, look all these skeletons, computer skeletons in your closet." Once I gave my computer to some real smart guy to fix, and then and it was a computer a few years old. Then he gave it back to me. He said, "You're a good Swami." I said, "What do you mean a good Swami?" I didn't know what he's talking about. He said, I checked you out. I said, "What do you mean you checked me out?" There's not much to check out. He said, "No, I fixed your computer, but I know I looked inside. You know these things too much. I looked here and there, and I see all your search history, this and that, and you're just searching for all boring stuff, really boring stuff. This article, that post, this article, philosophy and Krishna bhakti and all these things. And so you're no fun. You're not a good Swami." So I said, I better cover my tracks. The American Indians, when they go someplace, one guy is appointed at the end of the troop, at the end of the group of Indians under American Indians, and he cuts down a part of a tree, and he ties it on the tail of his horse. I mean, that's the way I envision it, because I don't think, why should he bother walking around? He's got a horse. They ride on horses, many of them. So he just ties that old tree with all the leaves, thousands of leaves, and he's the last. He's like the cleanup crew after the feast in the temple. "Oh, you have to clean the temple, Prabhu." "Oh my God, it'd take the rest of 11 o'clock. That cleanup crew is bad. Don't, you get on that sometime. Because I lived in a temple. So they tie that big tree on the end of the tail of the horse, and then all the Indian people, American Indians, the warriors, they run away, and then the tree goes behind the horse is running, and it's like it's dragging on the ground, and all the hoof prints and everything's wiped out. So anybody tries to count which way they went, and they use a special kind of tree that has these kind of very aromatic leaves, so they can't smell the earth, and if they try to smell the earth and try to track down the smell of that tribe or whatever, those kind of horses, because each horse has maybe a different fragrance. They're riding this kind of horse, and it smells like that. They smell the ground. It's like eucalyptus branches or something. So there's it's nice. It smells like eucalyptus. So it's called covering your tracks. Covering your tracks. Maybe you don't know these kind of crazy American Indian cowboy stories, but this is what they do. So people, they think they're all erased on their computer, and then it's. I'm glad I passed the test, because the person I know, he lives in Radhakot, so he could expose me. The truth is in your hard drive. Well, I'm cool. Let's look in your hard drive, Jack. This Mr. Chuck.